We don't get any money, that's why we get credibility, but we do accept whiskey.
Yeah, no.
You know, Forest Hill. I said Forest Hill.
Forest Hill, that was last time, yeah, that's right, yeah. And I still have a story to write about that, but I don't think we have time now for all of this. Yeah. But I think Citizen did a pretty good job of doing exactly what I wanted.
Hey, how you doing?
Michael Nulty. Michael Nulty.
Thanks again, man.
Jeff, have you talked to Sean Ellsburn? Have you talked to Sean Ellsburn about your work? Have you talked to Sean Ellsburn about Prop B?
Yeah.
He came out and supported you in board meetings. That's pretty amazing. This reminds you, and you remember this, right? Is it true that they tried to put you in special education because they thought you were too dumb and could only use vocational work?
Yeah, that's still true now.
Well, in your next career, after you're president, what kind of vocational ed would you like to go into? I mean, are you good with your hands, fingers, toes? What would you like to do? Animals? What kind of special ed? I taught special ed.
You did?
For 40 years.
Then I should ask you, what am I good at? I still haven't figured it out.
My wife that I had my kids with, they did exactly the same thing. And then they recalibrated the stuff and they say, Jesus Christ, your IQ is actually 175 and off the charts.
Hey,
her dad was mayor of the town where she grew up and all this stuff. He throws it back, he doesn't answer it. Good
just vote for B. Just vote for B. Don't vote for A. Vote for B. Or vote for H.
Never vote for B. I'm only there for the story.
Now you are on the ballot, aren't you?
Yeah, but I've never spent time on it. I'm there because candidates cannot ignore you when you're sitting in front of the interview process and all this.
And you don't need a press pass to get in anywhere, right?
Yeah, right.
But we make our own.
We make our own.
And legally, the Constitution says that's legal.
Yeah.
You can just put press in your pass and your hat when you get by. But individual venues can ignore you and all that.
Yeah.
So you haven't answered the question.
Yeah.
If you had stayed in a vocational track, what?
I would have been an auto mechanic. That's my dad.
Auto mechanic?
Yeah, my dad was an auto mechanic.
Have you worked on cars?
I was a shitty auto mechanic.
Have you worked on cars?
Oh yeah. Sometimes I was a kid. I was terrible.
Did you work on high performance cars or just
no, man, I was like changing oil, man. I was 9 years old, I remember, and I turned the car off and I was putting the oil in. My dad almost killed me.
I did that when I was in the Navy. I burned out the gears on the Jeep because I didn't know how to drive, and I was ashamed. I was 18 years old. I was in Morocco at a military base, and they said, "Take this down there, Brown." I'm going,
"What? You were in Morocco?"
Oh yeah.
Casablanca?
I've been to Casablanca. I got arrested in Casablanca in a bullfighting ring for being an American spy, and they were right, and I didn't know it, but it was a Ray Charles concert. It's another story. But at the base, when I got in, when you drive Jeeps around the base, I tried to drive, and I burned out the clutch. And they said, Jesus, you're 18 years old, and you're from the Ozarks, and you don't know how to goddamn drive. Yeah, and all, but can you fix a machine to this day?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what the difference in intake and an outtake valve is?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Well, the intake valve is the board of supervisors. The outtake is the mayor's office.
The mayor has 99.7% of the power in this town. You aren't going to speak to that yet. Make the baseball game with us. Thunder in San Francisco. He has been since 1993. An amazing race where he beat John Burton, Kamiko's dad, when Kamiko had been appointed to the office, and it was one of the. It was a memorable victory for progressives in San Francisco. And Now we've got, the man has been in the job for well over a decade. He's been running public defender's office. Like the sheriff's office, we have the best in San Francisco in these particular divisions and all this. And everybody's ready to either graduate up or retire. Jeff's a long way from retiring. I would expect that Mike Hennessy is going to retire after this this shot, and maybe take a shot at the flag of the mayor's race, maybe not. But the mayor's seat being open next year, win or lose Gavin Newsom in 4 days, opens some very interesting possibilities. I'm H. Brown, H. Brown R, Tony DiRenzo Network, and thank you for being here.
She died, so I bought the suit for her memorial service to give the memorial following Reverend Brown's. So I figured I had to dress appropriately. And I didn't think I would wear it again until I was buried. And then there's the campaign. I'm almost comfortable with the thing now.
You got to wear a suit every day, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, but from the waist down, I'm still a clerk. And that'd be hard to get that.
Tony, how are you?
I'm doing a lot better.
First of all, thanks so much for coming. Jim Meko is a candidate for District 6 Supervisor, in case you didn't know. And I've met Jim probably 2 years ago at a neighborhood association meeting for the South of Market waterfront, and hit it off pretty well. Certainly struck me as somebody with a good heart, someone who honestly, sincerely cares about what happens to South of Market and these other neighborhoods in downtown San Francisco. And when he helped me to asked me to help him with his campaign, I was more than happy to do so. And so we started. I joined him on this journey in May, and I think we've done a pretty good job of competing with some pretty powerful competitors, other good folks. But with no further ado, I'd like to introduce Jim Meko.
Well, thanks. Thank you very much. I know you don't want to hear all that much more talk. You know, remember, we've got some really good food here, but I appreciate everybody who came today. It's been quite a journey. We've been at this for more than a year. And we have a campaign with 14 people here in District 6 vying to replace Chris Daly. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill in many different ways. Chris is a good friend of mine, and if I can come close to approaching the level of important legislation that he has gotten through the Board of Supervisors that affects the neediest people in District 6, I will be very proud to be able to have done that. You know, of the 14 candidates, we have several who are very close to me. James Keyes and Deborah Walker have lived in this district and have worked hard for the interests of the district practically as long as I have. And they are my second and third choice. Everybody's got to remember, ranked choice voting gives you 3 choices. So besides including me in there, I strongly recommend that you include Deborah Walker and James Keyes. They care about this district every bit as much as I do. I just think I would be a better legislator. There are others like Glendon, Anaconda Hyde, who are kind of new to this, but have shown a real interest in the district and a lot of promise. So when the election is over, I hope Anaconda keeps his promise and stays involved in the community. Then there are others who have parachuted into this district, who have spread hundreds of thousands of dollars around trying to trick the voters into thinking that they care about you. They don't. They care about the special interests that gave them the hundreds of thousands of dollars to run. Neighborhoods, small businesses, our quality of life. That's what my campaign has been all about. And you know, if we don't get behind Prop B, if we don't do something about our $4 billion unfunded health care mandate, and if we don't do something about a pension system for city employees that is headed rapidly into bankruptcy, we're not going to be able to do anything for the neighborhoods or our small businesses or our quality of life for the poorest among us. We're just going to keep shoveling money into that empty hole. So, great neighborhoods, thriving small businesses, better quality of life for everybody. That's why I'm running, and please be sure to support me on Tuesday, November 2nd. Thank you all very much. Now, if we could have a word from Jeff Adachi, Matt Gonzalez, thank you so much for coming.
I'm very honored to be here.
Thank you.
I wanted to come personally today to thank Jim for his support of Proposition B. He is the only candidate who is supporting Proposition B in this district. And as Jim said, there is no more significant and important issue in terms of defining the future or lack of the future of the city than Proposition B. And any person who's running for elected office who refuses to acknowledge this can't be trusted. They cannot be trusted to make the decisions in the best interest of the people. And as we go forward from this point on, I am confident that San Franciscans are going to pass Proposition B, that they're going to see through the distortions and the misrepresentations that unfortunately have characterized the opponents in this debate. But the bottom line is that moving forward, this city needs new leadership, and the city will have new leadership. And we're going to see a legislature and hopefully a mayor that is going to, take the victory from Proposition B and move this debate to the next stage, because Proposition B is only one reform that needs to happen. There are many, many more. So please go out and vote yes on Proposition B, November 2nd. Thanks again.
Thank you. And Matt Gonzalez.
And vote for Adachi for public defender too.
That's right. I wanted to come out, and I know Jeff feels this way. We wanted to pay our respects to you, Jim. It's hard running for public office, and I think you've been someone that's been very active, not only on the political scene, but also the scene at City Hall, engaging in planning, activism more than anything. But you've been doing it certainly as long as I have been, and we may not be, particularly close in terms of in contact all the time, but I consider you to be a fellow traveler. You're somebody I pay attention to when you take a particular side on an issue. And I know that, Jeff and I and you, there are going to be times when any elected official or somebody in politics makes mistakes. But I think the one thing that we do have in common is that we're motivated by the right things. And I think that is the biggest difference, and is at the end of the day what matters most, whether or not you would be an elected official that would make decisions for any other reason than that you truly believe that they were the best reasons or the best decision. I know a number of other candidates in this race. Some of them are close friends of mine, and I'm not really privy to all of the backstory of what some may or may not be doing. But I can say that it's a very competitive race. I was saying to Jim privately that it's a contest that I think, and I don't mean disrespect to the folks I ran against in District 5 way back when, but there's a much stronger field than the field that I was elected from. And I would not have wanted to run as a novice in this contest. The irony, of course, is the moment you win, everyone starts talking about the next office you're going to run for and how you're so, inherently qualified to be in politics. But before you get elected, everybody just looks at you and says, "Oh, well, you're not really credible." And Jeff will tell you the same thing. But congratulations on running a good campaign. You're a good candidate. You're a good person, and it's been a pleasure for me to be on the same political landscape with you. So good luck.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So thank you all very much for coming. Please stay around. There's way too much chow mein and fried rice for me to finish in a week
And have a t-shirt.
And take a t-shirt as well. Too.